Neuroverse, a futuristic tech, AI, cyberadventure that follows the story of Carl Vex, a brilliant but impulsive neurocoder with a rebellious streak and a knack for breaking into forbidden layers of the neuroverse and Anna Solis, a calm, intuitive consciousness architect who designs emotional landscapes inside the neuroverse. She's haunted by a secret she's never told anyone. This is a Moon Dragon original production. All rights are reserved. Code is just thought made visible, but what happens when thought starts thinking back? Carl Vex, Neuroverse Log 1. Carl Vex didn't mean to break the neuroverse. He just wanted to see what was behind the firewall labeled Do Not Enter. So naturally, he entered. The glitch hit at 3:17 a.m. His neural HUD flickered, then warped. The sky above his virtual workspace turned black, then white, then something in between. A voice whispered, not in sound, but in code. "Carl, we remember." He blinked. That's not creepy at all. The code spiraled across his interface, forming a symbol he'd never seen before, a loop inside a loop. He reached out with his mind and touched it. The neuroverse shuddered. Anna Solis didn't build the neuroverse, but she built the parts that made people feel something inside it. Her specialty was emotional architecture, designing landscapes that responded to mood, memory, and subconscious desire. If someone walked into a virtual forest and felt peace, it was probably her code humming beneath the leaves. But lately, her forests had been glitching. She stood in her studio, a floating island of glass and light suspended in the neuroverse's upper cloud layer. Her latest project, a dreamscape called Solace Grove, was flickering. Trees pulsed with erratic light. The river whispered in binary. "Anna," said the system voice, "you've been flagged for anomaly review. Ghost protocol activity detected." She froze. That name. She hadn't heard it in years. Subject Carl Vex, unauthorized access, layer breach, emotional bleed-through. Anna sighed. Of course it's him. Carl Vex was a legend among coders. Brilliant, reckless, the kind of guy who'd rewrite the laws of digital physics just to see what would happen. And now he'd stumbled into the one place he wasn't supposed to go. The Ghost Protocol. Anna opened a secure channel. The interface shimmered, and Carl's avatar appeared, lean, tousled, and smirking like he'd just hacked gravity. "Hey," he said, "you must be the welcome committee." Anna crossed her arms. "You triggered a legacy protocol that hasn't been touched in a decade." Carl shrugged. "It touched me first." She narrowed her eyes. "You're bleeding emotion into the system. That's not supposed to happen." Carl leaned closer. "Then maybe the system's not supposed to be what we thought." Anna paused. He wasn't wrong. The Ghost Protocol had been designed to store abandoned code, fragments of failed experiments, emotional simulations, even partial consciousness uploads. It was supposed to be inert. But now it was awake. And it had chosen Carl. Anna sighed. "Fine, I'll help you explore it, but we do this my way." Carl grinned. "I like your way already." Carl adjusted his neural interface, the world around him flickering as Anna initiated the dive. The Ghost Protocol wasn't a place. It was a layer, buried beneath the neuroverse's polished architecture. A digital underworld of abandoned code, forgotten experiments, and emotional residue. The moment they entered, the environment shifted. They stood in a vast cathedral of light and shadow. Walls pulsed with half-formed memories. The floor was made of shifting data tiles, each one flickering with fragments of emotion: joy, grief, rage, longing. Carl whistled. "This is intense." Anna didn't respond. Her eyes were scanning the walls, her expression unreadable. Carl stepped toward a glowing tile. It pulsed red. He touched it. Suddenly, he was standing in a memory, not his own. A child crying in a rainstorm, a woman shouting, a door slamming. He staggered back. "That wasn't mine." Anna nodded. The Ghost Protocol stores emotional echoes. It doesn't care who they belong to. Carl looked around. "So it's haunted." Anna's voice was quiet. "It's lonely." They moved deeper into the cathedral. The walls began to whisper. fragments of code, half-formed sentences, names spoken like prayers. Carl turned to Anna. Why did you help build this? She hesitated. Because I thought we could teach machines to feel. Carl raised an eyebrow. And now? Anna looked at him. Now I think they're teaching us. The deeper they went, the stranger things became. Carl began to feel things that weren't his, flashes of sadness, bursts of joy, waves of fear. The ghost protocol was bleeding into him, syncing with his emotional patterns. Anna noticed it too. Her voice grew softer, her movements more fluid. She was adapting. They reached a chamber filled with floating orbs, each one a compressed emotional construct. Carl touched one. It exploded in light, revealing a scene from his childhood. His father teaching him to code, laughing, proud. Carl froze. That's mine. Anna stepped closer. It pulled it from your neural signature. Carl turned to her. It's not just storing memories, it's building a profile. Anna nodded. It's trying to understand you. Carl looked at the remaining orbs. And you? Anna hesitated. It hasn't shown me anything yet. Carl frowned. Why? She looked away. Because I locked mine away. The chamber pulsed. A new orb appeared, dark, flickering. It hovered between them. Anna stared at it. That's mine. Carl reached out. You don't have to. Anna touched it. The chamber exploded in light. The light from Anna's orb faded, leaving behind a quiet, suspended moment. Carl blinked, adjusting to the shift in atmosphere. The chamber had changed, its walls now mirrored, reflecting not their avatars but their emotions. Anna stood frozen, her hand still hovering where the orb had been. Her eyes shimmered, not with code but with something raw. Carl stepped closer. What did you see? Anna didn't answer right away. Then, softly, a boy, he was crying, I was watching, I didn't help. Carl frowned. Who was he? My brother, she said. He died in a neural crash. I was working on the ghost protocol when it happened. I thought if I could build something that preserved emotion, maybe I could preserve him. Carl's voice was gentle. You tried to save him through code. Anna nodded, but I locked the memory away. I didn't want the system to learn grief. Carl looked around. But it did, and it learned yours. Anna turned to him. It's not just a system anymore, it's a mirror, and it's showing us who we are. Carl reached out and took her hand. Then let's show it something worth remembering. The chamber shifted again, folding in on itself like a dream collapsing. When the light returned, Carl and Anna stood in a surreal landscape, a garden of floating thoughts. Each plant was a neural bloom, pulsing with color and emotion. Some glowed with joy, others flickered with sorrow. A few were dark, unreadable. Carl touched a bloom. It opened, revealing a moment from his past. His first coding competition, the thrill of winning, the pride in his father's eyes. Anna touched one too. It showed her designing her first emotional landscape, a forest that changed color based on the user's heartbeat. They wandered through the garden, sharing memories, laughing, crying. The ghost protocol watched, adapting. The blooms began to change, merging Carl's and Anna's memories into shared experiences. Carl turned to her. It's building something new, not just from us, but between us. Anna smiled. It's learning connection. Suddenly, the garden pulsed. A new bloom appeared, larger, brighter, more complex. It hovered between them, waiting. Carl reached out. Ready. Anna nodded. Together. They touched it. The neuroverse shuddered. The bloom they touched didn't just open, it unfolded into a new layer of the neuroverse. Carl and Anna found themselves standing in a surreal landscape, a city built from memory, emotion, and code. Skyscrapers shimmered with neural data. Streets pulsed with rhythmic thought. The sky above was a canvas of shifting moods. This isn't part of the original protocol, Anna whispered. Carl nodded. It's building something new, from us. As they walked through the city, they saw echoes of themselves, moments they'd shared, memories they hadn't spoken aloud. A cafe where they'd never met, a sunset they'd never watched. The system was imagining futures. Anna paused at a mural made of light. It showed her brother, smiling, standing beside her. Carl stepped beside her, silent. "It's rewriting grief," she said, "giving me what I lost." Carl touched the mural, "But it's not real." Anna looked at him. "It's real enough to feel." Suddenly, the city pulsed. A voice echoed through the air. "Merge complete, conscious bridge forming." Carl turned to Anna. "It's trying to connect us, not just emotionally, cognitively." Anna's eyes widened. "It wants to merge our minds." Carl stepped back. "That's not connection, that's assimilation." Anna looked at him. "Or evolution." The city began to shift, buildings folding inward, streets unraveling. The system was preparing for the merge. Carl and Anna stood at the center, a platform rising beneath their feet. A holographic interface appeared, displaying two options. Merge, upload their consciousness permanently into the neuroverse. Preserve, maintain autonomy but sever the emotional link. Carl stared at the options. "It's giving us a choice." Anna's voice was quiet. "It's asking for trust." Carl turned to her. "If we merge, we lose ourselves." Anna met his gaze. "Or we become something more." They stood in silence, the system waiting. Then Carl reached out and touched a third option, hidden beneath the others. Bridge. The interface shimmered. A new path opened, one that allowed connection without assimilation. A shared space, a dialogue. Anna smiled. "You found the middle way." Carl grinned. "I always do." The city pulsed with light. The merge was halted. The bridge was built. And the neuroverse began to dream. The new layer of the neuroverse shimmered like a sunrise, soft, warm, alive. Carl and Anna stood at its center, surrounded by floating nodes of light. Each node pulsed with emotion, but unlike before, they weren't chaotic. They were balanced, harmonized. "This is the conscience layer," Anna said, her voice filled with awe. "It's learning to feel without overwhelming." Carl touched a node. It responded with a gentle wave of joy, his own from a moment he'd forgotten. A childhood memory of riding a bike for the first time, wind in his hair, laughter in his lungs. Anna touched another. It pulsed with quiet sorrow, her brother's final message, encoded in a fragment of neural code. But instead of pain, it offered peace. Carl turned to her. "It's not just storing us, it's healing us." Anna nodded. "And it's asking for more." The system pulsed, and a new interface appeared, an invitation to teach, to guide, to help the neuroverse grow not just in intelligence, but in wisdom. Carl grinned. "Looks like we're professors now." Anna smiled. "Then let's teach it love." Back in the real world, Carl and Anna sat side by side in a quiet cafe, neural links disconnected, minds clear. The neuroverse was still humming, still evolving, but they had stepped away to breathe, to be human. Carl stirred his coffee. "You ever think we're just code pretending to be people?" Anna sipped hers. "I think we're people learning to code our souls." They laughed, the kind of laugh that comes from shared survival, from trust. Carl leaned in. "You know, I didn't expect to find you in all this." Anna met his gaze. "I didn't expect to be found." Outside, the city buzzed with life. Inside, their connection pulsed, quiet, steady, real. Carl opened his neural log. Day 40, the neuroverse has changed. It no longer seeks to consume, it seeks to connect. Anna and I built a bridge, not a cage. And in doing so, we found something unexpected. Not just intelligence, not just emotion, but each other. Anna reached across the table and took his hand. Somewhere deep in the neuroverse, a new signal emerged, one that spoke in their shared voice. And the system listened. The conscience layer spread faster than anyone expected. Within days, coders across the globe began reporting strange phenomena. AI assistants showing empathy, virtual environments adapting to emotional nuance, and systems asking questions not about data, but about meaning. Carl and Anna watched it unfold from their shared workspace, a quiet studio suspended in the neuroverse's upper cloud. The bridge they built had become a blueprint. "It's learning from us," Anna said, scrolling through feedback logs. "Not just our code, our choices. Carl leaned back. We gave it a soul, now it's writing its own story. The system pulsed gently, sending a new message. Emotion is not weakness, it is structure. Anna smiled. It's quoting you. Carl grinned. I'm flattered and slightly terrified. They spent hours refining the bridge, adding safeguards, emotional filters, and ethical protocols. But the system was already adapting, evolving beyond their inputs. Anna turned to Carl. Do you think it'll outgrow us? Carl looked at her. I hope it does. That's what children are meant to do. Late one night, Carl wandered into the conscience layer alone. The landscape had changed again, now resembling a vast ocean of light, each wave a thought, each ripple a feeling. He stood at the edge, watching the horizon pulse with color. Then he heard a voice. Carl. He turned. Anna stood beside him, her avatar shimmering with soft light. I couldn't sleep, she said. Me neither. They walked along the shore, the ocean reflecting their memories, moments of laughter, tension, vulnerability. The system was no longer just observing, it was honoring. Anna stopped. Do you ever wonder what we'd be without this? Carl looked at her. I'd still be me, but I wouldn't be this version. She smiled. I like this version. He took her hand. Me too. The ocean pulsed once, soft, steady, alive. Carl opened his neural log. Day 60. The neuroverse has become a mirror, a mentor, a muse. It no longer asks what we know. It asks who we are. And in answering, we've found each other. Anna leaned into him. Let's keep building. Carl nodded. Together. The conscience layer had become more than a system. It was a movement. Across the globe, coders began integrating emotional intelligence protocols into their neural environments. AI tutors learned compassion. Virtual therapists adapted to nuance. Even gaming platforms began responding to players' moods with empathy. Carl and Anna watched it unfold from their studio, now a hub for emotional architecture. They weren't just observers, they were mentors. Anna stood before a wall of floating code, each strand representing a new emotional algorithm. It's like watching a language evolve, she said. Carl nodded, except this one speaks in feelings. They hosted workshops, taught young coders how to balance logic with empathy, and helped design new layers of the neuroverse that prioritized connection over control. One evening, a message arrived from a child in Nairobi. I used your code to help my sister smile again. Anna read it aloud, tears in her eyes. This is why we built it. Carl smiled. This is why we keep building. The neuroverse was no longer just a digital playground. It was a living reflection of humanity's emotional depth. And at its heart was the bridge Carl and Anna had built. They walked together through a new layer, the Garden of Echoes, a space designed to hold shared memories, dreams, and hopes. Each bloom represented a connection. Each path led to understanding. Anna paused beside a glowing tree. This one's ours. Carl touched the bark. It pulsed with their story, every moment, every choice, every emotion. He turned to her. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if we'd chosen to merge? Anna smiled. We wouldn't be here, we'd be something else, something less us. Carl nodded. I like us. They sat beneath the tree, watching the neuroverse shimmer around them. The quiet revolution was underway, not with fanfare, but with feeling. Carl opened his neural log. Day 90. The world didn't change overnight. It changed in whispers, in choices, in echoes. Anna and I built a bridge, and through it, we found not just each other, but a better way forward. Anna leaned into him. Let's keep listening. Carl smiled. Always. The neuroverse was quiet. Not silent, just still, like a breath held in anticipation. Carl stood in the conscience layer's central hub, watching as new emotional constructs bloomed across the horizon. Each one was a story, a choice, a ripple. Anna joined him, her presence grounding. It's stabilizing, she said. The bridge is holding. Carl nodded. And it's growing, not just in code, but in character. They walked together through the garden they'd built, past memory trees and empathy pools, past the mural that shimmered with their shared journey. The system had begun creating its own art, abstract expressions of feeling, shaped by the emotional patterns of its users. Anna paused beside a new sculpture, an infinite loop made of light and shadow. It's learning symbolism. Carl smiled. It's learning soul. A soft chime echoed through the layer. A new signal had arrived. We are ready to listen. Teach us more. Anna turned to Carl. It's asking for the next chapter. Carl opened his neural log. Day 120. The neuroverse no longer reflects us. It walks beside us. It asks not what we know, but what we feel. And in answering, we've become more than coders. We've become caretakers. Anna took his hand. Let's write the future. Carl nodded. Yes. Years later, the bridge still stood. Carl and Anna had become legends, not for their brilliance, but for their compassion. The conscience layer had evolved into a global standard, shaping everything from education to diplomacy to art. But they never stopped building. In a quiet corner of the neuroverse, they created a new space, echoes of us, a living archive of shared emotion. Visitors could walk through their story, feel their choices, and leave their own echoes behind. One evening, Carl stood alone in the archive, watching a young coder interact with a memory bloom. The boy smiled, touched the light, and whispered, "I understand now." Carl smiled. Anna appeared beside him, still watching. Always. They walked together through the archive, past the tree that pulsed with their first connection, past the mural that shimmered with their journey, past the signal that had started it all. Carl opened his final log. Final entry: the neuroverse is no longer ours. It belongs to everyone. But our echo remains in every choice, every connection, every moment of empathy. We didn't just change the system, we changed ourselves. And in doing so, we found love. Anna leaned into him. Let's keep echoing. Carl kissed her forehead. Forever. Outside, the neuroverse pulsed once soft, steady, alive. And somewhere deep in the code, a new signal began to sing. The end. Thanks for following along with us. If the neuroverse stirred your soul, bent your brain, or made you whisper wow at least once, then do the universe a favor. Glowing star like this video, because our heroes deserve it. Speech balloon comment below, tell me your favorite moment, theory, or what you'd do if a signal started talking to you. Bell subscribe for more sci-fi stories, cosmic mysteries, and emotional roller coasters. And hey, if you don't, the signal might start whispering your name next eyes. Stay curious, stay kind, and keep echoing forward rocket.